Hey, welcome back to the Folded Note Podcast. Today we are in day 27 of our 31 Days to Glory countdown, and today's episode is titled, Wise Men Still Seek Him. I hope you've been feeling God's presence and truth in every episode this month. Whether you've listened every day or you're just joining in, it's not too late to seek Him, and it's never too late to say, God, I want more of you. Today we're diving into the story of the wise men, the magi, and what their journey tells us about our own walk with God. So let's start out with prayer. Father, help us to be seekers. Help us to value your presence more than comfort or convenience, and open our eyes to the journey you are calling to us, and give us the faith to follow. In Jesus' name, amen. I want us to go ahead and jump into Matthew 2, verses 1 and 2. It reads, Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea, during the reign of King Herod. About that time, some wise men from eastern lands arrived in Jerusalem, asking, Where is the newborn King of the Jews? We saw his star as it rose, and we have come to worship him. These were not just ordinary men. They were scholars, astrologers, men of influence, and yet they were humble enough to search, to travel far, and to ask questions. They weren't even Jewish. They knew something had happened though, and they saw a sign and they responded to it. That alone should make us stop and think. How many believers today miss what even outsiders recognize? They saw the star. Others may have seen it too, but they responded, they moved, and they searched. The journey wasn't easy. It definitely wasn't quick. Historians say that it could have taken months or over a year for the wise men to reach Jesus. And when they did, Jesus wasn't in the manger anymore. He was likely a toddler living in a house. So that beautiful nativity scene, we all know, with the shepherds and the wise men together, it's actually not biblically accurate. But the wise men's journey took persistence. They traveled across dangerous terrain. They faced political tension with the king, and yet they kept going. They kept seeking Jesus. And that should show us that seeking Jesus may not be convenient, but it will always be worth it. And I want us to keep reading Matthew 2, verses 3 and 4. King Herod was deeply disturbed when he heard this, as was everyone in Jerusalem. He called a meeting of the leading priests and teachers of religious law and asked, Where is the Messiah supposed to be born? So King Herod was immediately intimidated by Jesus. He was threatened by a baby. And why is that? Because King Herod represented man-made power, and Jesus represented God-given authority. When true glory shows up, false power always feels threatened. There is a reason that people today still mock, they still resist, they run from Jesus, because when you encounter the real king, it demands a response. Bow or rebel. There is no neutral ground. And I want us to talk about the gifts that the wise men brought. Matthew 2:11 says, They entered the house and saw the child with his mother Mary, and they bowed down and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasure chest and gave him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. They didn't bring him leftovers. They brought treasure. They brought what was costly. Gold is royalty, frankincense, a deity. It was used in worship. And myrrh was a sacrifice used in burial. Even their gifts pointed to who he was and what he came to do. And I want to ask you, when you come into his presence, do you bring him your best? Do you bring him your treasure, your time, your worship, your resources? They didn't come empty-handed, because true worship always costs something. And this story isn't just about three men from the east. It's about the posture of anyone who wants to see God's glory. We live in a world where people seek. They seek wealth, fame, success, comfort, and validation. But wise people, they seek Him. not just for what he can give, not just for blessings, but because they recognize who he is. And I want us to break this down. If wise men still seek him, why don't more people seek him today? And I feel like there are 3 reasons. One is comfort zone. People don't want to leave what's familiar. The wise men had to leave their country, their comfort and certainty, and most won't do that. But you can't discover the king if you're unwilling to move. And secondly, delayed discouragement. People want quick results. When the journey takes longer than expected, so many quit. But remember, Jesus is worth the wait. And third, I feel, is distractions. People get distracted by the Herods of today. Power, control, culture, or self-importance. And King Herod said that he wanted to worship too, but he really wanted control. There are many Herods in our life who pretend to care about Jesus, but they don't really want to surrender to him. And I want to ask you today, what star is God putting in your sky? What nudge is he giving you to follow? What comfort zone is he asking you to leave? The glory isn't in your safety, it's in your seeking. And the destination isn't just a house or a manger, it's Jesus. And I want us to flip the phrase. We say wise men still seek him. So the question becomes, if I'm not seeking him, am I truly wise? And this isn't about your IQ. This is about your spiritual posture. And Proverbs 9 verse 10 says, "Fear of the Lord is the foundation of wisdom." You do not have to be rich, educated, or perfect to seek Jesus. You just have to be humble and hungry. The wise men followed the star. Where is Jesus leading you right now? Let's close today's note with a prayer. Lord, thank you so much for making us seekers. Let us never become so familiar, so distracted, or so discouraged that we stop pursuing you. We want to bring you our best. We want to follow you, even when the journey is long. Thank you for showing us through the wise men that seeking you is still the wisest thing we can ever do. We bow our hearts today, not just in word, but in true worship, Father. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.